Want to know 3 books that could actually change your entire 2026? As a self-proclaimed nerd, entrepreneur, book junkie, and neuropsychologist with a bachelor's, a master's, and a PhD, I've definitely read more books than the average person. And I've found that there are a few rare books that truly deliver those massive breakthroughs and not just inspiration. So in this video, I'm going to show you my top 3 life-changing reads so you can start the year next year with an edge. Okay, so one of the biggest shifts that helped me grow faster was realizing that success doesn't come from having everything perfect. It comes from learning how to take action quickly, how to focus your energy, and how to really know exactly what to prioritize depending on where you are. So when I first launched my Mod Ambition Planner, I didn't sit in the lab for years trying to get it flawless. I put it on Kickstarter, I got it into women's hands, and then I refined it in real time. The same thing happened when I launched my course, Systemize Your Goals. I opened the doors before it was quote unquote perfect, and then I built it alongside my students and their feedback, and that's why I think it resonated. Every time I've built in public like that, it's allowed me to grow faster, to learn faster, and to serve people better. That mindset is exactly what I learned from the book Ready, Fire, Aim, which I don't have with me physically. I let someone borrow it, but that is what I learned from this book, Ready, Fire, Aim. It really shows entrepreneurs and stresses to entrepreneurs how to stop waiting for that perfect and really start to build momentum by focusing on the right things at the right time. So here are 3 lessons that made the book so powerful for me. The first one was to focus on one product until you hit 1 million. This book really emphasizes to resist the urge to spread yourself thin, because real momentum comes, real growth comes from mastery and not doing a lot of different things poorly, which was really the catalyst for me to bundle my Notion templates together so it could be one product. I could serve those customers within one, funnel, so to speak. And it really streamlined the way I thought about producing this Notion template, because I was able to integrate all the templates within it together instead of having a bunch of one-off products, and really streamlining as far as the course I provide into one Systemize Your Goals accelerator. So I'm still not exactly doing the framework, but I only have one suite, I should say, and both of those are really refined, so I can only focus on those 2 things. The second lesson from this book is don't wait for perfect. You want to start and refine. Progress really comes from doing and not planning. And then the third lesson was to learn that you really should break your focus into what revenue stage you're in. So what you should obsess over at the start is completely different from what matters later on as you grow your business. So this book is broken up into different stages of what you should do depending on where you are in business, because what you should obsess over at the start, they say, is completely different than what he says you should focus on later on in your business, and they give you that roadmap. Then once you've mastered how to create and how to grow with this kind of clarity from Ready, Fire, Aim, I found as an entrepreneur, it's also been a game changer to learn how to position yourself so that your work doesn't just sell, it stands out as an obvious choice. Next, let me show you a book that actually made this possible for me. Something I've learned on this journey is that there's a big difference between just running a business and actually stepping into leadership. When I first started sharing my work, I could have just stayed in the lane of, selling digital products. But what really created traction was when I started developing my own intellectual property. Systems like my time blocking method, or the way I help women reach their goals faster and easier. That's when things really started to shift for me. It wasn't about being another business owner. It wasn't about just being a psychologist. It's about being seen as someone with original ideas and frameworks that truly solve real problems. And that's exactly why the book Thought Leaders Practice is so powerful. It shows you how to move from simply running a business to positioning yourself as a thought leader by building and leveraging your own intellectual property. Here's the thing. Building a business is one level, but building authority, I've learned, is another. And the way I like to think of it is like the difference between renting an apartment and owning your own home. When you rent, you make it nice, but at the end of the day, you're living in someone else's structure. You don't own it. But when you build your own home, every detail reflects you. It holds that long-term value because it's truly yours. That's what it feels like to move from just running a business or giving advice to actually owning your place as a thought leader with original ideas. You're not renting space space from the market. You're building something original that people can only get from you, which we know in this world of AI we really need. So that's why this book, The Thought Leaders Practice, is such a game changer. It lays out the steps to build that authority by creating, organizing, and sharing your own intellectual property in a way that positions you as a go-to expert. So what I took away from The Thought Leaders Practice is that the first step is really about clarity. For me, that meant getting crystal clear on what made my work different from others in this space and what space I wanted to own. Once I did that, I wasn't just competing with every other productivity or psychologist guru online. I was building a lane of my own that was truly mine, and that's what I want you to think about too. What space do you want to claim as your own? It also helped me to get better at conveying my ideas so that they truly stick with people. They introduce this idea. So using their pink sheet framework, I started honing my own concepts into models and frameworks that account for how different people learn, whether it's left brain, logical types of folks, or right brain, creative, visual types of folks, whichever way they absorb best through visual stories or step-by-steps. That shift has made my teaching clearer, and it's allowed me to meet people where they are. And I want you to think about that too. How can you present your ideas in a way that resonate with the widest range of people possible? Okay, so the first two books have given us clarity and they've given us authority, and this next book is going to help you build unshakable faith that what you want is already on its way. So sometimes the everyday hustle and bustle of life and hustling towards our dreams makes us lose touch with hope and that unshakable faith that we want to have. Self-doubt can start to creep in, limiting beliefs start to go unchecked, and that sort of scarcity thinking can start to knock at your door. So think about a piano that has been left untouched for too long. Over time, that piano is going to drift out of tune. You can still play it, but the sound is off and it's unsettled. And our hearts and minds are the same way. Life brings distractions, disappointments, and noise, and without attention, we drift out of alignment, like we get out of tune. So a daily dose of belief is like a master tuner, really adjusting you string by string until what was off key is really restored. And this type of daily dose of faith can restore your belief and bring you back to a place of clarity and confidence. And that's what 100 Days of Believing Bigger does. This is a little scribbled on, which you probably can't see actually now that I'm looking in the camera, because I keep this out on my table in our library and my son got a hold of it, which you can maybe see, and scrabbled all over it. But I love this devotional, 100 Days of Believing Bigger. It really gives you those handrails through scripture, reflection, journaling, and prayer that root you deeper into who you are and where you're going. And it was actually recommended to me by a friend. She's actually here on YouTube, Trey Michelle, and I really love this devotional. Specifically because in my own life, there have been times when the pace of everything left me feeling really stretched thin and unsteady. And this devotional has allowed me to slow down every day and remember that I'm called and that I'm equipped. It's helped me reconnect with a deeper sense of faith and strength so that I can show up with more peace and more confidence. It's really beautifully written. The author, Marshawn Evans Daniels, she does a fantastic, beautiful job integrating scripture and some really powerful prompts in this devotional as well. And her own writings here are just always so profound and inspirational. So I really recommend this devotional as well. Now, I know these are books that are setting you up for 2026, right? But if you're watching this in 2025, I don't want you to just jump to giving up on your 2025 goals just yet, saying, hey, I'm going to try again next year. I'm getting ready for next year. In fact, I have a free special workshop for you that's going to be linked in the description below that you can watch here on YouTube called Finish the Year Strong, with my exact formula for reaching your goals by the end of the year. I'll see you over there. Cheers to planning, manifesting, and enjoying your dream life. Namaste.